Hey everybody, I'm Nolan Karpinski, and I'm going to be talking to you today about our new Emerging Threat Center launch. So first, to orient y'all, do a quick run through on where this capability sits within our overall Google SecOps strategy. So really our strategy comes down to three key pillars. The first is agentic workflows, helping security operations teams upskill, up-level, and make more efficient the people that you have on staff and change the way you work, and bringing AI into the fold when it comes to detections, to triaging alerts, to threat hunting, and response. The second piece, key to our strategy, is active threat intelligence. This is from our internal Google properties like Chrome and Gmail to the Mandiant incident response team that we have that is on site with customers, helping them fight breaches, to our VirusTotal repository and community delivered TI. So that's the second piece, and that's really what I'm going to be talking to you about today. But I'd be remiss to not talk also about Google Scale, the fact that we are built on the same platforms that run search, that run YouTube, that run ads, and our ability to leverage those economies of scale to deliver for you at cost the most scalable AI infrastructure, as well as allowing you to bring as much data as you want to the platform, and the needs of that data in an AI world to be able to have the full visibility from a user interacting in a browser with an agent connected to a SaaS app, modifying cloud resources, that full end-to-end picture, wanting to make sure that you have all of that data available. And so being built on Google Scale helps deliver that outcome. But really what I'm going to be talking to you today about is active threat intelligence. And Kevin Mandia, the founder of Mandiant, always used to say this, that you can't be a good security company unless you're on the front lines with the adversary. You can't be a good doctor unless you see unhealthy patients. And we want to help customers own the moment of new and novel. So as we see threats come in from all of our different vantage points, how do we help you, our customer, respond to those faster and protect your organization for those same threats? So I want to just give a little bit of an example of what this might look like. So, a major 0-day hits the news. It doesn't have to be a 0-day. It could be some dedicated phishing campaign, or it could be a credential dump, but a lot of times it is a 0-day. And what happens is that customers spin up teams to go answer really two questions. Am I impacted by this? And am I prepared for that? And they're getting this call from the CISO, from their regulators, from their clients, and everybody wants answers. I was talking to a Fortune 500 bank the other day, and they called this a matter of interest. So obviously incident has a specific definition in the banking space. So it's not an incident, but it's a matter of interest. And ultimately, what this leads to within an organization is you take off your two best people, your best threat hunter, your best detection engineer, and you say, okay, how do we go get our arms around this problem? How do we read every single threat report that we can about this new threat? How do we craft hunting queries, turn those into detections, make sure that those are deployed to our environment? And at best, that's an inefficient process, meaning it takes a long time, and it's taking your best people off what they were previously doing to go fight this fire. And at worst, that process is ineffective, meaning it either isn't happening or you're just not getting the same outcome that you need to actually protect yourself. And especially during a period of time where you need to give time and space to patch that vulnerability. That is dwell time that an adversary would have, and it's important to do these things quickly. And so we want to help our customers do this process better. We have a fundamental belief that by understanding the threats happening in the world and packaging up those outcomes in a way where we can deliver content fast enough to matter to the rest of our customer base, we can protect the rest of our customers from being incident number 2 for a particular campaign. And so the emerging threat center in SecOps is the place that you're going to go to get those answers of, am I impacted? Am I prepared? And are the way that we are delivering that value to you. And so as you see here, this is a new view inside of SecOps. It's not your case view. Again, this isn't an incident necessarily yet, although you could make it one. But this is a matter of interest. It's an emerging threat. And we're going to take you through the process of answering those 2 questions that I was talking about. So first of all, seeing what instantly matters. All of these are campaigns defined by Google Threat Intelligence. So campaigns are a special type of threat object inside of GTI. And there aren't that many of these things. There were 86 last year. There's been 60 or so far this year. And we have a lot of great data under the hood because we actually have seen these attacks happen in the wild. And as you see this feed, you can filter it by industry or region. Google Threat Intelligence GTI product has ways to define threat profiles. We want to make sure that this aligns to the things that you care about for, again, your target industries and regions. You can filter this feed down. But once you see one of these campaigns that you're interested in, you can click into it and start answering that question of, are we impacted? And this is really your operational report for this particular piece of TI. So you have all of your impacted assets, any asset with a detection or an IOC associated with this campaign, that's going to bubble up to the top of this list. Any of the IOC matches that are in your environment, retro hunted back 365 days. All of those matches will show up for anything that GTI is defined as associated to this campaign. And then finally, the detections that we have attributed to the behaviors from that campaign as well. You'll see the hits in this operational report. But it's not just, are you impacted? Because the high likelihood is that you won't be impacted. You won't have many or any IOC matches. Those rules that we have associated, you might not have any hits for those, but you still need to prove to regulators, to auditors, to your clients, to your CISO, to your boss, that you are prepared for this particular threat. And that's where we're trying to do a really good job of providing that visibility. So showing you all of the IOCs that we didn't find, but that are live in your environment and that we would generate detections or IOC matches for if we were to find them. And then all the behavioral coverage. What rules are you bringing to the table as a control for the time between now and when you might have fully patched that vulnerability? What sort of behavioral coverage do you have to detect that type of activity in your environment? And so all of that is the, are we prepared for the future part of that question? So the detection piece of this is super interesting. And I want to spend just a few moments talking about how this works under the hood. First of all, the intel source. So this is in the upper right. This is the campaign that defines what the behaviors are for that activity. And as I said, we have deep understanding from raw telemetry from pwned environments, what this actually looks like. And what we do on the back end is we extract all the information and we generate synthetic versions of those campaign sequences. And we run those against all of the detection coverage that we have, and we see what hits. And so we know that these particular rules are likely applicable to that particular campaign because we've effectively run that campaign for you. If we don't have coverage for a particular behavior, we then have Gemini generate rules for us. At the very end of this process, a human does review those rules with all the associated checks and historical analysis to push those to production. And those are oftentimes the rules that you'll see show up in that operational report for what could I be turning on that would provide me additional coverage for this particular campaign. And I'll close with a quote from Ron Smalley, who's the head of cybersecurity operations at Fiserv and has been on this journey with Applied Threat Intel with us for a while, talking about how we need to move beyond indicators of compromise when it comes to threat intelligence and build on those behavioral detections with the deep visibility that Google has and our ability to help Fiserv and his team do that. So I would love to hear your feedback in the community. This Emerging Threat Center is now on for all Enterprise Plus customers. It's in public preview. Over the course of the next few months, we'll be collecting that feedback, iterating on it, and then going GA. But if you have positive, negative feedback, we'd love to hear it in the community. And thank you for joining the session.